Gothic 1 is known for giving you a ton of freedom, and the faithful Gothic 1 Remake is no different. You can go your own way as soon as you get control of your nameless hero, but between the cutthroat guards of Old Camp and the brutally difficult creatures out in the forest, there's a few things you can do to prepare for the adventure ahead. Here are 14 things you should do first in the Gothic 1 Remake. One other note, this game is still pretty buggy, at least on PS5 where I'm playing. If you notice conversations happening where the characters aren't opening their mouths, I've tried to fix it. You can only restart the game so many times.
Word is, he ran off to the new camp, but I ain't buying it.
You're green blood, and I'm the guy who takes care of you lot.
Diego is the first NPC you'll meet, after getting punched in the face, and he's a wealth of knowledge. Talking to him more at the start of the game, or later in Old Camp if you ignore him at the beginning, will not only introduce you to a number of core factions of the game, but doing so can also unlock side quests to help you progress the main story. He's also going to suggest you walk back with him to Old Camp, and I recommend taking him up on the offer. While he may walk slowly, he'll also take out any creatures along your path for you. You may want to be choosy with who you share information with in Gothic 1 Remake, but you won't have to worry about Diego. He really does want to help you. Pick up everything you can find in Gothic, especially since this will help you get ahead on potential side quest tasks. You have plenty of slots to fill with the berries and plants, meat, and contents of chests that you find in your travels, so inventory space isn't a big concern. You can sell excess items when you're next in town, or use particular items like beer to give to certain NPCs looking for a favor. And if you're worried about stealing, so long as the words aren't read, it's free to take. While Gothic 1 Remake does autosave, it does so infrequently. So it's important that you get into the habit of saving whenever you suspect you might be about to fight someone or something. This way you don't have to lose progress and replay parts of the game to catch back up. You can save from the pause menu, and if you're playing on keyboard and mouse, you can just hit F5 to quick save. As you make your way from the start of the game to Old Camp, the first mine shaft you see should have a pickaxe just inside of it that you can use as a weapon. Further down the hill, you can find nuggets, the main currency of the game, on the ground near the wagon debris that you walk past. And once you defeat the first patrolling juvenile scavenger you come across, either with your newfound pickaxe or with Diego's help, you can find an old sword for the taking, a weapon stronger than your pickaxe, right underneath the hanged man. You'll need to rely on food you find to heal you if you get hurt in combat. You can use food you found by pressing the consume button while in your inventory. Better yet, you can equip them to your D-pad shortcuts, or hotbar shortcuts on PC, by pressing equip. That way you can heal while in the middle of a battle without opening your menu. You have a very small amount of health at the start of the game anyway, so any extra healing you can use will go a long way. The notes that Diego hands you are the game's tutorial resources. This is a new feature of Gothic 1 Remake, where the hands-off nature of the experience is preserved, but an optional set of tutorials are provided that you can access in the game's Glossary menu. You'll find your basic instructions for how to move and interact with the world here, as well as in-depth breakdowns for how leveling up, learning skills, and learning magic all works. Even if you don't plan on allying with the fire mages or the Old Camp, it's good to get inside the camp gates and accept some early side quests, or find shelter. To get inside at the North Gate, closest to where you started, you'll need to get past the guard. If you spoke to Diego at the start, then you can tell the guard that Diego is expecting you inside, which should do the trick. Otherwise, you'll be asked to pay 10 nuggets for entry. If you tell the guard you simply don't have the nuggets to pay, he'll let you in anyway.
See it as a welcome gift.
The first thing you should do in town is take a left from the entrance. Travel past Snaff the Cook, and then walk up the hill to the left, around the back of the arena, to find an elevated area full of huts and diggers. There you'll find Guy. He'll not only give you a rundown of what you can expect to find in each major camp, to better help you decide who you want to ally yourself with, but he'll also let you know that a hut has just become vacant. It's the hut with the big red awning, right next to where you're talking to Guy. Inside is a bed, and a chest you can call your own, along with anything else inside. The chest gives you a place to store your nuggets, which means you can take on quests, or walk around town where you might be at risk of getting robbed, without worry. You can even start the Forgotten Recipe side quest by picking up the piece of paper inside the chest. If you've got any meat from mole rats or scavengers that you've killed, you may want to make use of the next pan you come across. There are several of these dotted around Old Camp, like outside the hut that Guy gives you, or where Diego hangs out near the front entrance. Cooking fresh meat that you're carrying will give you cooked items that will heal you for much more when eaten, or sell for much more when sold, so it's worth doing whenever possible. Just make sure your raw meat isn't equipped as a consumable, or it won't show up as an ingredient while cooking. Life is pretty rough when you're just getting started in Gothic 1 Remake, so it's important to start trying to level up as soon as possible. Completing side quests is one of the best ways to earn experience, and there are plenty to find in Old Camp. Plus, some of the quests will lead to new equipment, resources, and nuggets. Here are some of the best quests to do first. First, let's get you some extra XP and a better weapon. To the right of the main entrance to Old Camp, along the upper path, is a shadow sitting on a bench called Sly. He's got a job for a Greenblood like yourself. He's looking for a friend of his called Neck who went missing recently, and he wants you to go looking. He says you can start by talking to Fletcher, who will then send you to Snaff the Cook, who will then tell you where to go. But we can just tell you how to find Neck right away, so let's go do that. You need to go to the south gate out of Old Camp, which sits inside the ruins of a broken tower. Make sure to make a new save once you're outside the camp, and then, not very far down the path in front of you, behind a big boulder, you should see a cave off to the right guarded by 3 mole rats. Equip your weapon, and try to lure them away one at a time. These mole rats are easier to fight than the juvenile scavengers as you can sometimes stun them, but they can still quickly overwhelm you if you don't choose your attack openings carefully. Once the mole rats are defeated, pick up any nearby mushrooms and then head inside the cave. Inside, you'll find Neck's body. Grab everything from it and everything else inside the cave. This includes Neck's withered axe, which hits harder and also faster than anything else you would have found so far. Now go and inform Sly about his friend. At this point, he'll ask for proof of Neck's death, and you have to give him the amulet if you want to finish the quest and get the XP. While it's a decent trinket to have, the experience is worth more. Once you hand it over, you'll get 250 experience points. Plus, Sly will vouch for you if you go to talk to Diego and Thoris about joining the Shadows, which should help to progress the main quest later on, too. Near the South Camp entrance is an undercover market area. Nearby, outside the market, is a guard sitting against a hut wall called Whistler. He needs a favor from someone new. He'll ask you to buy a sword from Fisk in the market, and then bring it back to him. Whistler gives you the 100 nuggets you'll need up front for that purchase. Frankly, you can do whatever you want with that money, but we're here for the experience. You could also pay for the sword and then keep it for yourself too, but the problem is you won't be strong enough to wield it yet. Hence our focus on experience points. Find Fisk during the daytime in the undercover market, sitting on a bench outside his hut. He looks like one of the guards. He sells other weapons too, so keep him in mind for later. Fisk asks for 110 nuggets to buy the sword. If you suggest that he should sell the sword for 100, he's going to figure out that you're trying to help Whistler and restrict you from buying the sword. To buy it, you can either go back to Whistler and ask for 10 more nuggets, or buy the sword using 10 of your own. You can ask Whistler for the extra nuggets after the fact, so you shouldn't lose money doing this quest. Once you're reimbursed, hand over the sword, and the job will be complete, rewarding you with an easy 200 experience points and another guard to vouch for you with Diego. Since you start at level 0, if you've fought a few creatures since the start of the game, these 2 quests should put you over the edge to level 1. You'll get 12 more points in HP and 10 learning points, which are crucial for learning specific skills like one-handed weapon combat, climbing, acrobatics, hunting, or more. Now you can purchase points in your strength or dexterity stats by talking to Diego and giving him some of your LP. You'll find Diego sitting on a bench outside the castle gate during the day, but if he's not interested in talking to you, go and talk to Thoris at the gate first. He'll tell you how to get in good with Gomez, which will unlock the conversation tree for Diego to tell you how to level. If you want to spend some LP learning a skill, then the only other things you need are more nuggets and to find the right teacher. So let's see about earning some money. Food reliably sells for decent nuggets in camp, so hanging on to extra berries or cooked meat for sale is a legitimate way to get ahead in the finances department. But if you want a serious injection of cash, look no further than the Essence of Spirit. This is a potion you can find not far from the South Gate, outside of Old Camp. From the South Gate, you should see a cave in the rock wall slightly to the right of you, where we fought the mole rats earlier for the Vanished Warder side quest. Further to the right of that cave, away from the mole rats, is a tiny alcove. Inside this alcove is bottled Essence of Spirit. This is a valuable potion in more ways than one, as consuming it will increase your mana pool by 2. Because of the potion's potency, it also sells for heaps of money. It's up to you whether you'd prefer to sell the potion or use it, but selling it is one of the best ways to make your money problems go away as early as possible. Unfortunately, none of the vendors in Old Camp have a ton of currency to spare, but you can use the potion to then purchase other items in the same transaction so that you don't lose any value. Fisk and Torres are traders who offer a bunch of valuable equipment that could make use of that much currency. Fisk and Dexter are also the vendors in town that have the highest amount of currency in their pockets to give back to you in a sale, and then keeping the rest of the value of the potion as change to use with other vendors or purchase skills with.
Well, not just for fun. You want me to train you? You gotta pay.
Having 50 or more nuggets will allow you to do a number of things. You should talk to Scatty at the arena and ask for training in the one-handed combat skill, if you have LP for leveling up as well as the nuggets, or you could buy the ingredients for a number of quests that require certain items, like the Price of Magic or the Forgotten Recipe. With your initial purchase, you could also trade for a bow and some arrows from Fisk. Having a ranged combat option can really help this early in the game. The choice is yours. And that should set you up well for the first big chunk of Gothic 1 Remake. For more on Gothic, keep it right here on IGN.